I think Casper Pedersen was just on the attack, and then Askren made a move after him, and I saw Valgren and Vandal going like right in the moment, and I jumped. I just instinctively I jumped, and then neither Mats from Trek or UnoX was in the group. If I don't win nationals, nobody's going to be like, "Oh, you didn't win nationals." Like there's like 180 people at the start line. I don't want to be Mats because I'm Rasmus and I'm my own rider, and I want to be the rider I am. And we saw that quite quick on the first lap. Like Slovenia was really dropping guys left and right. But it's just like in Worlds, he doesn't need riders. Doesn't matter.
No, it really
It doesn't matter.
G'day guys, before we jump into the interview, this is me at the editing chair. I'm trying to clean up the audio as best as I can, but unfortunately it's come through my shocks instead of my podcast microphone. We thought it sounded okay while we were recording, so we didn't stop the interview and start again. I realized about halfway through, and so I've done the best that I can, but unfortunately my vocals don't sound great. However, our guest today sounds fantastic. So, anyway, on with the interview, but forgive the audio. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the hot seat. And today I am joined by none other than Rasmus Pedersen. How are you, mate?
Hey, mate. Thanks for having me. I'm great. And you?
I am doing really well now. It's been a day. It's been an absolute day in Sydney. We had a crazy storm and all the trains were knocked out today. So it took me, I had to ride home from work, and it took me, I think, about 2 hours. But hey,
Damn.
got some exercise in. Which I wasn't counting on. So you know what? I'm just happy to be home, and I'm happy to be here, mate. Now, I don't speak Danish, so I was a bit nervous about doing is it Salzburg? How do I pronounce that O with the cross through it?
It's Ö. So Soyberg.
Soyberg.
Yeah, that's great.
Correct? Okay, so
Yeah.
Rasmus Soyberg Pedersen. Mate.
Yeah, that's
I'm
great.
learning.
That's great.
All right, so we jump off with quickfire questions. You have 1 minute to get through as many of these questions as you possibly can.
Okay.
I'll go as fast as I can with them. Just spit out your first answer. Cole Kessler, I think. I'm starting to lose track, but I think he's the leader at the moment on 14 in a minute.
Okay.
So
we'll 14 in 1 minute.
14 in 1 minute. He was pretty intense. All right. So let's go. So first question, cobbles or climbing?
Cobbles.
Roubaix or Flanders?
Roubaix.
Crosswind echelons or mountain breakaways?
Crosswind, proper racing.
Best food mid race?
Jill.
Worst race food?
Oat bars.
Caffeine or the cherry juice?
Caffeine. We don't use cherry juice.
Training in the rain or a turbo trainer?
Rain. Hate turbo.
Funniest teammate on the squad?
Bennett. Sam Bennett.
All right, and who's the most serious teammate?
Probably Felix. Gal.
Okay, favorite song at the moment?
I don't know. Some Danish one.
Shit. Best movie?
Well, that's a tough one. Interstellar.
Yeah, good call, mate. That is your minute up. So let's see. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 all up.
That's okay.
You didn't do too bad. You know what? You held yourself against some of the best. You're not ranked among the best, but you certainly held a candle to some of the best. So I would take that if I was you.
That's great.
Take it. So we jump into the interview here. It's 2024. You're 21 years old. You're in the breakaway in a group of 4 with peloton bearing down your back. For anyone that hasn't seen the finish to this race, go and watch it. But can you talk me through that national champs win? I watched the finish on YouTube, and it looked intense. How was that for you?
It was proper racing all day. I remember Mats and Magnus attacking out like more than 100k to the finish. Big break going. All the guys with the Casper, Mats, Magnus, Tobias, and then the rest of the pros and semi pros we had to close it down. And then on this we did like a big loop in a small circuit, and the small circuit is just full gas racing, just left and right. And I think Casper Pedersen was just on the attack, and then Askren made a move after him, and I saw Valgren and Vandal going like right in the moment, and I jumped. I just instinctively jumped, and then neither Mats from Trek or UnoX was in the group, and they've been canceling out each other all day, like the whole day. They've been canceling out each other. If Mats was there, Magnus was supposed to be there. Another guy from Trek, another guy from UnoX. So they looked at each other in that moment, and then I closed the gap with Frederick in the wheel, and then I just say, let's just go, go. It's like 10k out, I think, from the line, and I'm just like feeling like this is it. Like this has to be it. Otherwise it's going to be a sprint, like no doubt. So it was either this full commitment or like a half decent sprint. And then I would, in that age, in that stage of my life, I'd take that fourth place any day. Especially
totally.
going into the race, I had a teammate, Devo teammate, also Devo, but yeah, any day I'd take the fourth place. And Askren took some massive turns, and then Valgren, and then we kept them 10 seconds off the back, 8 seconds, and then going into the final corner, Valgren was like, he pulled out, and I was after him. Like 800 meters to go or something before the last corner, and then when I pull out, Valgren like makes a little gap, and like I can't do no more. I'm like, I am the Devo rider in this group. You're the world tour. You're the former Danish champ. That's what I thought, at least. Yeah. And I said, if you can't, I just instinctively have just like, well, if you're not gonna take a turn anymore, you pull. You just pull. And he's like, okay. And then he like made it to the front of the group with me in the wheel into the last corner, and he just kept the pace. So all I had to do was look back and wait for Askren, which was the guy I was most afraid of. And then when he opened the sprint, I launched at the same time. I had that bike length, to bank length on Askren because of how the group was at the back. And it was just 20-25 second sprints from each side of the road, just for the win. It was close. It was like if I didn't, like, it was the wheel, the throw of the bike made the outcome, more or less.
Mate, we in Australia we call that winning by a bee's dick. It was there was not a lot in it at all. It was a fantastic sprint, and like against the likes of Casper Asgreen. So you beat Casper, Wandel, Court, Tobias Lund Anderson, Alexander Salby, who I watched Salby in China.
Great guy.
Year. He is a fantastic sprinter as well. He's been cleaning up that circuit. And of course, Mads Pedersen. These guys are like proper titans. What are you thinking in the days after the race? Like, was there a bit of
I felt like respect almost for myself. Like I actually did that kind of. I beat those guys, and I don't know if it was. It's just I have respect for myself, and I had I showed that I belong among the top in Denmark, at least. Because it was like 220k, 48.5 average. Like you don't go easy in the wheel, so that like you have to keep pushing all day. And it's to this day still the hardest race, like on numbers, that I've ever done. For that long time, for that amount of time. So I guess respect, and that I showed that I belong among the top. I had at the time I had to sign the World Tour contract, and I also think that's why I made it happen, because there was no pressure. There's no pressure. There's no like, oh, maybe I can make it top 10. Maybe I get a contract somewhere. Like I already signed the contract a month prior to that, to the race. So I knew that there wasn't any weight on me. Like it was just go have fun and do the right decisions. And when you do that, when you feel race an instinct like that, and you don't. I think when you don't panic that a group is going, because like, okay, if I don't win nationals, nobody's going to be like, oh, you didn't win nationals. Like, that's like 180 people at the start line. Only one guy can win.
Yeah.
So I guess that having signed the contract already made me wait and be patient and wait for the right moves.
How have you found? So obviously you've now done a year in, well, 2 years in the world tour. How have you felt? Like, you talk about the freedom of having that contract signed. Have you felt that freedom has been something that you've carried into these last couple of years riding for Decathlon? Do you now feel that there is a pressure to perform in the team because you've signed that contract, or are they like, what's the development like there? How are they approaching developing a rider like yourself?
I would say it's different now because now I'm at the top level. I have to perform according to what is expected. At least in the realm. So it's a pressure, but it's good. I would say like it makes it. That's what drives the work, kind of like makes me go for wants to push more and to go deeper in the next sessions and the coming months and stuff like that. But it's not like I'm still at the time 22 when I turned pro this year. It's my first year, so like they also knew that even though just because I have the national jersey, it doesn't mean that I'm all of a sudden better than Mats Pedersen or Magnus or something like
Yeah.
that. So it's not like that's that kind of a big pressure, but of course I think the pressure is more myself. So there was a bigger pressure on myself than from the team this year because
Yeah,
they
totally.
also knew they had to. It's a new environment to be in a world tour.
So what's it like, I guess, jumping into your first year in the world tour wearing the national jersey? So just as a, I guess a bit of a stupid anecdote, Zwift's given me a tick next to my name as a verified athlete because they've got me as a VIP, which is something that I certainly do not deserve. But I'm Cat C racer on Zwift, and I jump on the races, and I've got this tick next to my name, and it just like establishes me as this marked man. Every time I go on the attack, everything I do, there's like people immediately on my wheel. And I feel like, I think it's lost me a few Swift races, if I'm
Yeah,
honest. What's it?
professional amateur.
Yeah, well, I mean, part of it thinks like part of me wonders whether everyone just thinks I'm sandbagging. But I guess where I'm going with this, my terrible Swift career aside, is, did you feel like you were a marked man then? Like, I guess most people would start their first year in the peloton with pretty significant anonymity. Like, you would
Mm.
just be another rider wearing a Decathlon jersey, whereas you start your first year in the peloton wearing the national jersey. Did you find that, moves that you made, people noticed? Like, how was that?
I definitely thought a lot about that going into my first year.
Mm,
For sure, for sure. It was also a topic that I discussed with people or like journalists before doing my first race and stuff like that. So it was definitely a talking point. But I will say at the level you're racing in the World Tour, especially the classics, was where I like that was the biggest races where I wore the jersey.
mm,
People know who's going good, and if they're going good, they're going good at a certain moment, and then you also have to just follow. Like if I
yeah.
was taking on Quaremont in Flanders, everybody would just follow because it's Quaremont. So if somebody's attacking, you gotta go follow. So I think
Mm,
in those kind of races, like the classics especially, it didn't make a huge difference. Also, you kind of know, or you have a feeling of who's going good in the classic and who's like just in the top 10. You like it's not certain who's gonna go in the top 10, top 20, but at least half of them you could say beforehand maybe.
yeah.
Um, and I wasn't one of them. But especially in like smaller races, maybe yeah, like people come up to me and say, "Oh, it's a cool jersey," and they notice the bike and the jersey and the shoes and the custom outfit, and that in that regard, I get some respect for having
Mm,
because they also know who's Danish, and it's becoming a bigger and bigger cycling country. So yeah, it's not like it didn't feel marked, especially on the big races, but yeah, in the smaller races, I did notice that I was standing out a bit.
Yeah, for sure. What's it on the flip side? What's it like? I've never been fortunate enough to pull on the national colours in anything other than wearing my country's football jersey to a game or something. What's it like the first time you pull on your national colours and line up for a race, like as the national champion? Not many people will get to experience that. What's going through your head?
It's great. I will say this sounds not to sound arrogant or anything, but
Yeah.
I did win U23 championship twice, the 2 prior years before winning the elites. So I already had the kit actually when when I won the nationals last year. So I tried it before, especially in the early 24 when I was U23 and did some podiums with the jersey and stuff like that. I had the feeling. I also raced for the national U23 team with the national champion jersey. So
Hmm.
I had a feeling, and it's amazing. It's one thing is racing for the national team where you get to wear the colors of your flag and of your country, and that's a huge and a special feeling. But to be the only one wearing a jersey, which I think is the most beautiful jersey in the Peloton, of course, it's no, it's you get some sort of like empowerment and like it's just great. It's a great feeling, and I am sad that I'm not wearing it anymore.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to fight you on that because I think the Australian national champs jersey is just hands and above the best one in the
Of
peloton. But
course.
just for anyone that's not watching on YouTube for this, Rasmus has in the background. I've been talking about trying to fix up the background of these podcasts, and in a
Mm.
couple of weeks, I'm actually moving to a new house and I'm setting up my own podcast studio. And just looking at the background that you've got two national champs jerseys in the background there. No matter what I do there's the third one. No matter what I do in my podcast studio, it'll never be as good a backdrop as that. So you're definitely winning. You're definitely
Thank
winning
you.
there. Hey, we did talk about the jersey in the past. Then coming into to this, I'd sort of asked you in the lead up to the national champs
Mm.
how you were feeling coming into
Yeah.
it, and you were not heaps confident. You sort of said you've had a fantastic year in the national champs jersey, and you've been really honoured to wear it. Obviously, you'd go and defend it and do whatever you could. You came seventh this year with Sorengro Anderson taking the win over Mads. And I have to say Mads and not Pedersen because I was going through the list of
Yeah.
people in the top 10 and I've got four Pedersens in the top 10.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling heading into your title defense and how does it feel? Well, like what's the emotions after? I mean, coming seventh, like you said, the year before, coming seventh, you would have taken that hands down.
Mm.
What's it like now after you've been there? How did that seventh sit?
Disappointing.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but it was also the way the race was going and the how the race was. I was, of course, in the classics I was going great and I had the best legs of my life. And the week prior to nationals, I did Copenhagen Sprint for national team in the my last race as national champion. Came 12th, was a bit disappointed there also, but you have to be, I think, a bit disappointed when you're when you're at home and racing like big races. I think that's drives you forward. But yeah, coming to the nationals, I did the TT, disappointed as well. Came 10th, I think. Was fourth the year prior, so expected a bit more, but that's how it is. And then I think after 30K of the elite race, the national championships, we were 10 guys in the front group in the echelons. That's like 12 meters, like 30, 36, 40K an hour wins. So we would tag 20, 12 guys after 30K with Mats, with Unwex, like everybody was there and like nobody was really chasing. So we did, I think 100 and 140, 50K or something in the echelons in a small group. And then before hitting the circuit, the finishing circuit, there was like total headwind. So everything just
Yeah.
stopped, and it all came back
Yeah.
together. So and at that point, Lidl was 4 guys, Uno X was 5 or 6 guys. So they kept on going left, right, and then you have to like make the right move. And coming into it, knowing I had it was a good circuit for me, I became like contrary to the year before where I was like super relaxed and stuff. I really wanted to go for the podium, so
Mm.
I made some not wrong moves, but I stuck with Mats, thinking he was the sole captain of Lidl. Well, he wasn't, because then the other guys just went up the road and came into the circuit like 2 minutes ahead of the group behind. But Mats attacked just before, and I went with him, and then I went with Mats on the circuit, and they dropped me. But then I came back to some of the guys from the front. We were like 10 guys in front, 12 guys, and I just started catching people. I was just going
Yeah.
40k solo, just going hard and hard and hard, and kept on catching people. But the front group was gone. So it was a great race. Personally, like I had good legs. Just yeah, you have to pick a wheel sometimes, and I chose the wrong wheel that day. But yeah, overall satisfied. 7th is great with the legs I had. So yeah, hungry for more next year.
It's underappreciated in cycling, isn't it? But you can have the best legs, you can be the best person out there,
Yeah,
and it's so much down to luck.
yeah,
Um,
100%.
yeah. Look, speaking of, with your year, you produced some pretty solid results. So 6th at the Grand Prix Herning, 3rd at Finn Rund. I don't think I said that right at all. These are both home races. I tried.
Yeah, yeah,
And then 4th at again Parashurni and a 4th in stage 1 of Guangxi.
yeah.
How are you feeling about your year? You must be having debriefs with everyone, heading into training camp, strategizing for next year. What do you think went well? What didn't go well this year? And how is the team factoring this in for your 2026 season?
I think I overall I would say I'm satisfied, but not again, not really.
Mm.
I wanted more. I think that's what drives it. So as I said before, like you have to want more, otherwise you end at a plateau, I think. But overall, I think I was super consistent in the races I did with the team, especially the World Tour races. I was like my level was great, really good for the classics, and then just for the rest was good. I didn't have like a big down period. Like even though I was training, of course I broke my collarbone and I had some stomach issues in Dunkirk, which made me pull out of the race, and then I had a rehab period. But yeah, came back strong for the sprints in Shawnee and China. So I think I proved that I can race at this level,
Mm.
and I belong here. Oh yeah, I learned a lot, especially from guys like Ollie and Sam, like the more experienced older guys. Also raced a bit with Felix, which was nice. So I have confidence, especially in the group, like smaller group sprinting stuff like that. I earned a bit of confidence. Forward Shawnee was, so it was not a hard race, but in the end it was stretched out. So for next year, yeah, we just gonna improve and gonna sharpening sharpening for next year.
Yeah. Your profile suggests that you're both a strong sprinter and a classics rider.
Yeah.
How would you like to develop as a rider? Do you want to start targeting the classics, or do you intend on trying to work your way up to being one of those number one sprinters in decathlon?
For sure not. The sprinting, I think the sprinting is a nice discipline. And in Guangxi, I tried it 4 days being the lead sprinter.
Mm.
It was a good experience, but I like the chaos. I love like going left, right, around, touching almost. But the feeling you get is the thrill you get is amazing. The adrenaline and stuff.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. But I'm not that good at it. And I would of course have to do a lot more, which will be
Mm.
quite difficult next year and the coming years from the team, in the team for that matter. I think my strength lies in reduced bunch sprints, reduced sprints, hard races with a reduced sprint in the end, or like where you need to be race and instinct, and there's a lot of chaos and it's chaotic final and stuff like that. So yeah, more the classics suits me quite well. I like cobbles. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I like cobble climbs. I like that. It's ruthless and like you cannot hide stuff places like that. Like it's and the same with crosswinds. Like you cannot hide in the crosswinds as much.
Mm.
So that kind of races is somehow like. But I want to get more into like smaller stage races with a big like some reduced sprints. Kind of like how Matthew Brennan has been going really good. Like he's also won bunch sprints, but like especially like the reduced sprints where it's been hard before the final, and also Thibaut de Grosso, guys like that. I think it's very inspiring how they race, and I want to pursue that. Like maybe like Michael Matthews or something like that. He's a great guy, and I think that's the kind of races that I would have to go for in the future.
Yeah, so sort of attritional races that
Yeah,
come. So yeah, that's kind of like the rider that Mads Petersen's sort of moving into.
yeah, for sure.
Is he someone that you look up to as a sprinter, as being a Danish compatriot? Or?
Yeah, 100%. I can't hide the fact that Mats is a big he's been very inspirational for me,
Yeah,
especially in my youth, but also starting to race with him this year, and he's just a top guy. He's a top bloke. Like there's no bullshit around him. Like he's great, and he looks after the youth also, and like young guys like me. Like he's always down for a chat before the race begins and stuff like that. So he's a really good guy, uh, and he's just yeah. I look up to him. I have to say that, even though we race on the same level, he's been some of the victories he has and the podiums is inspirational, and the Gambelgan this year was incredible. So he's a great guy and a rider type that yeah I'm not I don't want to be Mess because
mm,
I'm Rasmus and I'm my own rider, and I want to be the rider I am. So it's not like I want to be a certain rider, because this is me, and this is I develop the kind of rider that I want to be.
yep.
Um, but it's definitely really inspirational seeing how Mess is racing.
There's not many people in the peloton like Mads. I mean, he really does seem to sort of like again, as we say in Australia, he seems to cut the shit a bit.
Yeah.
Just like recently coming out and a bit of a tiff between two of your mates. Jonas Vingegaard was doing those end of season crits, and Mads has sort of come out and said he's got zero interest in those because
Mm,
they're a bit of a waste of time. How do you
yeah.
feel about these end of season crits? Are they just a procession, or do you reckon there is actually something to this?
Actually, I didn't watch any of them.
No, me neither.
The Also the time zone and stuff was not quite
Mm,
right for Denmark, and it was off season. So, but no, I think it's if there's a culture around it and a big hype and people really enjoy it, I think keep going. They like
yep,
the racing. It's a big show, and if it can push cycling culture and cycling in general in those areas of especially in Singapore and Japan and stuff like that, if it can push it further and be more like it is in Europe, I'm all about it. I haven't gotten any questions going there or anything or stuff like that. I think it's for those who want to go, it's great if they can get a little vacation same time, take the family to Japan or whatever. I say go for it. But yeah, I haven't watched the races and I don't know how like the outcome was. I just saw Jonas won one and Milan won the other one. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, I think it's cute that they ride in the jerseys from the races. They like Jonathan Milan raced in the green jersey, I think, and I think
Yeah, so I think
it's
they're Tour de France adjacent. So I
yeah,
think they're run by the
it's
ASO.
ASO. Yeah.
Yeah. With that then, and I don't have this question on there, but one of these sort of, I guess, kind of races, the Andorra Cycling Masters.
Mm.
What did you make of that one? Obviously four of the best riders in the world, but it's a bit of an interesting, I don't know, structure to it.
I think, like with the ESO crits, I think it's good for cycling as a whole. I know the Netflix series now is it's not being made anymore, but
Mm,
I definitely had people, not contact, but but friends and people who watch who normally doesn't watch my races or anything like that, but who watch the Netflix because they think it's interesting and it gets more people to watch cycling and get into cycling. So in that regard, again, I think it's positive that it pushes cycling to more people and for more the general masses. I haven't seen the documentary on the Andorra race. I don't know the outcome or anything, but yeah, it's. I talked with Jonas about it a bit after Euros, and like, he didn't know if he wanted to go and stuff like that. But in the end, he went anyway. Also to
mm.
Japan. So I guess, yeah, if people want to go, they should go.
Hey, so it's December, and you know what that means? It means we are coming into Christmas. And if you're liking this interview, then hey, consider me Santa Claus, because all you have to do is head over to the Domestique page, and we've got loads more. While you're there, get in the Christmas spirit, hit subscribe on your podcast platforms, and yeah, good on ya. Let's get rocking. All right, so let's talk about the Euros then. You're
Yep.
riding for Jonas. The goal is to deliver the fishmonger to first place.
Yeah.
Obviously, that goes, as we say again in Australia, it goes tits up, and it's pretty clear that Jonas is not finishing. There's
Yeah.
some good content that you got out of it on your Instagram of you sort of revving up the crowd on what looked like your
Yeah.
last lap going around.
Yeah.
Um, Soaking up the vibes, I guess. But what was it like riding in front of those crowds with all of that pressure to ride for Jonas? And were you disappointed at the end, or was it an opportunity to just lap up that and have a bit of fun at, I guess, what was the end of your season or close to it?
I mean, for me, it was a great experience overall. I had a chat with Michael Markov, the national coach, in July, because he made like a what do you call it, like a group, I guess, pre-selective group for both Worlds and Euros.
Yep.
And I've always been a guy to call up and say, hey, I'm always ready to wear the national colors and help if needed, even though I knew both Worlds and Euros was quite the course. And of course, he
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, great to hear the spirit and stuff like that." But like, we're great cycling nation in Denmark, so we got a lot of guys who can do good and help a lot. But then just before Worlds, I think I was called up by Markov to say to ask if I wanted to race anyway, the Euros. It's like 2 weeks or something before the Euros. And he asked like all the specific around the weekend of the Euros, what I was doing. So, oh, I'm not doing anything. Oh, perfect. Can you
Yep.
come to France? um, I know he wanted me. Of course, I know he wanted me to do races with the national team. We have a good connection, me and him. But he also wanted to give me a race that suits me a bit more. But yeah, ended up going anyway. Because of Worlds and Euros being so close to each other,
Mm.
and all the Italian races being at the same time. So I was just excited to be there, and especially with those guys, like it's some heavy hitters, Skilmos, and Jonas. First race with Jonas. I haven't even raced against Jonas this year, so
Yeah. Wow.
my first time I met him at training camp in January, same place. But that's the only time I was spoken to him. So for
Oh,
me,
so
it was a
your
bit.
training camps were just adjacent? Like Decathlon was doing a training camp at the
Yeah,
same
yeah, yeah.
place as this one? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was the same
Yep.
time, same place. We just had a quick chat in the elevator.
Mm.
Nothing more than that. So just to be there was a privilege. I think I was really proud just to be on the start line. But no, we made a plan and we believed in it. We came with high expectations and but it was an intense race. Like my job was to make sure the gap to the breakaway. The breakaway was a small group and a group that was controlled that could be controlled by Slovenia and Belgium. But of course, we started on the climb 4K to the top. So the first, I think, 8 minutes had 450 average or something on a climb. I'm not a climber, so
wow.
it's quite something. I think I did almost my 10-minute PB with 2 minute downhill that
Yeah.
day, at least for the year. So it was a tough start in the descent, and it took a while before the breakaway went, and then in the end it was a huge breakaway. But no, it was intense, and then it was all about getting the guys placed in the bottom of the first climb on the circuit. We did well, I think. We did great. We were all in place. Did the first lap. Had Jonas in my wheel, looked after that guy, looked after him. Skill most did his thing in the front, and then yeah, I had to cut it short on the second lap. It was too hard. Like not because of like my shape and stuff was good, but rough race. So
Yeah. I
but
wouldn't
yeah,
be too down on yourself, mate. I've got
no,
17
no.
riders. 17
Yeah,
riders
yeah.
complete that
But
race. It's
that's also
crazy.
it's also because the time limit is in 10 minutes. If you're outside
Yeah.
10 minutes, you're getting pulled out.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, there's a natural pressure that comes with racing on that team with those guys. But yeah, I mean, Skillmo's becoming seventh, I think. It's great.
Mm.
Came fourth the week before. Had to travel from Rwanda to France. It's rough, but I think for what it is, I think we're proud of it as a team. Like
Yeah.
after the race, how we
Yeah.
raced at least.
What was going on with Jonas? Can you shed any light in regards to that? He sort of was talking, not meaning this in a negative way, but he
No, no,
was
no.
talking up his level going into the race,
Yeah,
and then it really looked like he fell on his face drawing.
yeah.
Was he crook? Was anything going on there, or was it just a situation of just not having the legs?
I will say like every rider, even the best rider, except maybe today, has bad days, has bad
Yeah,
legs, and has days where they're just not there. And Jonas believed in it. I could feel that even though I don't know him. Like his suit was sewn in the day before, hand by one of the staff members. But he was also honest that the Vuelta was hard on him, and
yeah,
it really it dragged on. And it was not an easy race to finish, especially not winning the race, let alone winning the race. So there was nothing dramatic about him having to pull out that early, and I know he did everything. Like he had caffeine gel just before the second lap. Like he was dropped 15K later, so he believed in it for sure, 100%.
yeah,
And
right, yeah,
he did all the things he had to do to be at that level, to follow Tadej and Remco. Um, but yeah, the Vuelta was hard, and the weeks after was also hard, having to get yourself back up and in shape. So,
yeah,
but yeah, it's for all cyclists. Like we move on, we adapt, and I think that's just elite cycling. I guess it's just yeah, when you're one of the biggest guys on the start line, it's always and your first race for the national team, it's always a bummer. And I
yeah.
think it's also hard for Jonas to be in that situation, of course. But yeah, we move on, we adapt, we overcome.
What's it like lining up? You said everyone has a bad day except for Tade, who
Yeah, yeah.
seems to be able to go through the Tour de France with a knee complaint and still contest the last stage. What's
Mm.
it like as a national team lining up against the Slovenian team with Tadej Pogacar in the lead? Like, did you see opportunities, having a look at Worlds? He was very much isolated in that race. Did you see a way or a path towards taking Pogacar down? What like are you able to share any of the strategies that maybe you
Mm.
guys had a chat about? Or
Yeah, like my job was to make sure that Slovenia wasn't in the break without us. And I kind of felt that Slovenia had the same. strategy. Like it was kind of Belgium, us, Denmark, and Slovenia who was the three big teams. Also, there's only four teams, and then France, of course. But France had maybe not the biggest leader like Remco, Tadej, and Jonas, but it was a strong team overall. Maybe the strongest like overall for them. We saw that in the top 20, like top like I think the French team was the team with the most finishes, without being sure. But there's like there's four teams, and we had to make sure that Slovenia wasn't there because we wouldn't take the front because of course Tadej is the overall guy for the win, and then Remco the same. And Belgium kept on attacking the first hour and a half or something. They really wanted to make a hard race and try to isolate Slovenia and make them close the gaps always. But then we had to jump in and help, of course, otherwise we would be on the back end. So yeah, we kind of let Slovenia do all the most of the work, because yeah, they're not, the strength lies in today and not the numbers of the riders. And we saw that quite quick on the first lap. Like Slovenia was really dropping guys left and right. But it's just like in World, he doesn't need riders. Doesn't matter.
No, it really
It doesn't matter. So
yeah.
So we tried to not isolate, but that was also the thing with skill modes. We had two cards to play, and if it was a group, hopefully Tadej, Jonas, and skill modes would be in the 4-man group or the 5-6-man group, and they would be the only team with 2 riders. But yeah, that didn't happen. So that's how it is.
Nah, it's I guess it's just the thing with facing up against Tadej is you just have to, I guess, hope that he's having one of his very rare bad days.
Yeah.
Look, with the Euros, are they too late in the season? You know, you've got Worlds after the Vuelta, which backs up from the Tour de France. A lot of people are trying to do either the Giro Tour or the Tour of Vuelta double. Then you've got the World Championships, and then you've got the European Championships at the same time. As you said, a lot of those Italian classics are on. Would it be better, like in Australia, we do our national champs, and obviously this doesn't really work for you guys, but our national champs is in January. Is there a better time to have the race where you feel like, people must be knackered after the season? Like it's pretty much the tail end.
Yeah.
Do you think they need to look at rescheduling?
I would say, first of all, nationals in Denmark in January would be insane. It will be something. I think it would be good, but insane.
It'd be
but yeah, it's definitely late, and by that point, most riders have like slowly closed the season, at least mentally. Especially if you've been without injury or problems, you probably raced from mid-February until early October, which is really long time. And if you did the tour, you haven't really had a break. So it's definitely late, but also so it's more mentally than physically, I would say, who's there, who's ready, because you have to keep on doing the hours afterwards, after all that. Personally, I broke my collarbone in August, so I hadn't even been on the bike for more than a little month or something. So I was fully down. But yeah, I don't know if the date is right or wrong, but it's really interesting that it's also some of the strongest mentally who's ready there and who's ready to perform and go for the win. It makes it more selective, I think, because we did the Worlds last 2 years ago, was in Glasgow. It was in August. It was quite early. But I mean, it was also good. Like it fitted in. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I think the dynamic that is just, it's not fixed and stuff like that. I think it's cool, but it is next year with Canada is gonna be right after the Canadian races, so that makes sense that it fits in. But it's definitely an interesting question, but not I'm not the type of guy to be super mentally overloaded by the end of the season. I try to make make the best out of my breaks and stuff like that. So I stay on top. But for sure, it is late for a lot of people.
I like what you said there, though. Like, there is, it brings in a different element, I guess.
Mhm.
You're not coming in at the start of the season, you know, testing the legs out kind of thing. It's at the end when everyone's just exhausted, and it
Yeah,
really does sort of test out who, like you said, has the mental strength and that fortitude to go through. So I guess it does add another element. Yeah, I didn't think about that element when I did it, but that's probably because I just do local C grade, B grade cricket, and I
yeah.
don't really need a lot of mental toughness for that. Hey,
No, especially like, I could- I mean, of course, the Australians are not doing Euros, but that type of riders who maybe lives abroad or lives in Andorra, Monaco, far away from home, stuff like that. People are already getting off season. Like for Jonas, it was the last race, and if he didn't
mm,
do it, he would have off season after Vuelta, like last year or 2 years. Yeah, last year he had 2 years ago. He did off season after Vuelta, which is maybe a bit early for some. So to keep on for 3 weeks, only focusing on the Euros, like you really have to be. It's one day. You really have to
yeah,
be mentally too ready. Of course, Jonas lives at home, but some people skill most lives in Andorra, so he's far away from home and family and stuff like that. So it's I could imagine it's mentally hard.
yeah, for sure. Hey, so wanted to talk about you. You're on Decathlon, shedding the AG Tour
Mhm.
name and just becoming Decathlon. And there's been a bit of an identity shift in the team with a lot of the signings. A lot of French riders have moved on, and you've taken on some riders from around the world. I wanted to talk to you about another team that has moved into the World Tour, being
Yeah.
Uno X, and they've secured World Tour status. As a Dane who is not on the team, how big of an achievement do you think this is for a Scandinavian team? And just for those who do not know, the Uno X selection is you have to be Scandinavian at the moment to be on the team.
Norwegian
How do
and
you?
Danish only,
Oh,
actually.
yeah, yeah, right. A very small line. We'll get to that in a sec. But how do you feel as someone from Denmark? How does this feel for you to have a team like Uno X in the World Tour?
No, it's great. It's a massive how do you say it? It's a massive uh, it's great. It's really great for the team, for the and for the region. Like it gives a
Mm,
clear identity at the highest level. Like this is the Norwegian and Danes. It's like it's the top level. It's not like now it's not the bottom or like the middle part like the high pro Conti. Like that is the top 18 teams. One of them is Scandinavian or Norwegian, Danish. And right now we have a lot of momentum in this region. So having a world tour team from here, only having this region on that team is really strengthened. I think it strengthened the future and just like it boosts up the region. And it gives something to it gives a team to young riders to look up to and like we had CEC back in the day and Saxo Bank in Denmark and like even before I even started cycling and knew stuff about cycling, I still knew what Saxo Bank was, the team.
mm.
And I had a jersey from them, even though I didn't even ride the bike or even think I would be a world tour once. So it definitely gives a massive boost in like the momentum we already have in this region.
Yeah, and I guess it provides a pathway for
Yeah.
young Danish riders. You know that there is a team that, while they won't have you necessarily, your chances of getting onto that team, I guess, are greater than just generic X World Tour team. But do you think riding for a Scandinavian team is enough of an incentive to overcome the budgetary concerns that Uno X has in regards to sponsors and developing a lineup that can truly compete at the World Tour level. I mean, they've demonstrated they have that ability this year, but do you think that's something that they can maintain?
I think it creates, and that's also why I know Uno X is very like why a lot of people want to go to Uno X. It creates like a community more like a strengthened community on the team, and it's based a lot on like loyalty and the strong internal culture. Like a lot of the staff is speaks Norwegian or Danish. The chefs is Danish. Like the coaches are from Denmark or Norway. Like of course a lot of the staff and
Yeah, right.
mechanics when they're around the world are Belgian and all from that area where they have a service course and stuff like that. But like the same with being on a national team, I guess like you're more incentive to go to the grave for your teammate. Like it's a proper mate, and you speak the same language almost at least. So I think that's really it's really great for and that's how like the team goes where they go. Like right now, it's really strong community they have on the team, and that's it's a great incentive for people to go there. But of course, yeah, it's also about depth and budget, certain budgetary problems can be at least. But right now, I think they're more than competitive to be in this level. I will also
Um,
say to add on,
mm,
they had the Devo team once back in the day. Now they scrapped that, but I still think they work with a lot of the Danish country teams and work with a lot of Norwegian country teams and being having coaches in the different countries from the different countries, they also see a lot and they hear about other young riders and stuff like that. So I think right now we have a good setup to get young people onto the team. So I think at the moment it looks really great, good for them.
well, let's end talking about Decathlon. How is everyone feeling about Decathlon ending 2025? Domestique gave it an 8 out of 10. Would you agree with that assessment?
I would say yeah, I think it's great. 8 out of 10 is a good rating. Internally, we had some goals. Of course, we put some goals down for the next couple of years, and with the Decathlon taking over now, and CMA CGM is coming in as a name sponsor. Like it's there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and of course we want to be ambitious, and the team wants to be ambitious in what you can also see the lineup for next year. It's going we are ambitious. And we cleared the goals this year. We didn't raise the bar compared to like with a couple more wins last year. We were like what fifth on the ranking, but last year was also like it's a new beginning kind of feeling, and everyone took that to heart and made the best out of it. And we had a great season last year, and this one was also really good. Um, and we cleared the goals and set the bar, and next year we pursue. So we have a lot of momentum, I think, and like one guy wins one somewhere and the other guys win somewhere else. Like at one point in August when I was out with the collarbone, we had the GC jersey in 3 different races at the same time. All the professional races we had the GC jerseys, which was quite insane. We didn't win them, but it was great. It was we've been really good.
Well, with the team,
Mm.
it is like you said, it is stacked. Amara, Bennett moving, but Bissinger, Sosnefroy, De Bont, the Danish hand grenade himself, Rasmus Pedersen, and a little known, someone that not many people have heard about, but this guy called Paul Seixas. Um, what are the goals for 2026? There must be some big aspirations. The team has done a lot of, they've brought on a lot of new talent. What are you guys looking at targeting next year? I mean, I've been listening to podcasts talking about Sexas on Grand Tour podiums. Where is the team looking to really have a crack next year?
Uh, we want to be consistently present in the finals, I would say. Like that's also the roster we have now. We have to be we have to be present in every final we are in, like a possibility. Of course, in the Grand Tour, you have to think if you want a big sprint lead out, or you want a big climb lead out, or for the breakaways. So of course it can be difficult in the Grand Tour, but especially in the classics and the hilly one days, and the climbing, like big climbing stays, we want to be present and present in the finals and being in position to win. It's hard to say we want to win everything, but at least be in position to go for the win in the final is definitely a big goal of ours. And we showed the past 2 years that we can win big races and we can be competitive. Felix being fifth at the Tour, incredible for the team. It's the best result in years. Only Ben has done a better result in the last like 10 years almost. So we were definitely there, and yeah, being in position for the wins, and yeah, the sprints of course gonna take a massive leap forward, and I think when I have a general better climbing team for all the Grand Tours.
Yeah. Well, I can't let you go without talking about Seixas.
Mm.
Can he podium a Grand Tour in 2026?
Mm, I mean, he's so unique. I would say yes, but he's built different. I haven't done a lot of races with him, but some, like his first race I did with him, his first ever pro race, he did a better result than I've done in any pro race except nationals. Fifth in Marseille, which is incredible, and to think about that he's still studying university
Yeah,
right
wow, I
now.
didn't know that.
No, and his English is great. Like it's,
Yeah.
of course, nothing is perfect, but it's really good. And he's just turned 19 a couple months ago. It's incredible when you see him on the bike in the group, like for training. You're like, oh, he's just doesn't look like his style on the bike is just nothing like you see. Oh, he has so much. He has such a powerful push or something. He's just on the bike a bit like left and right.
Yeah.
But he's just like you can't drop him. He's just incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, for the podium in the Grand Tour, it's definitely tough, and it requires that the team, of course, goes full forward for that,
Mm.
and make sure like, to really go grab that, and maybe not podium, but at least go for that GC win, victory with him.
Yep.
Maybe as the second ride on the team or some second, like with two different leaders. But I don't know the plans for him this year. But I hope he
Yeah, of
gets.
course.
I hope he gets a Grand Tour so people he can really show that he's the next one.
Yeah. Something like the Vuelta would
Yeah,
be
would be
fantastic
good
for
for
him.
him. Yeah,
Go with the second leader, take some of the pressure off, free reign
exactly.
to go for, yeah, see what happens. What are your personal ambitions for 2026 then? What would you like to tick off?
It's a good question. I will say to pursue and to keep going in the direction I'm going, of course. But this year, I really, really wanted to win a race in the national jersey. That would be
Mm.
that was my main goal. It didn't matter what race or what category. I just wanted to win a race and be in the top podium and have that feeling. I didn't succeed, but I will say that um, after my injury, coming back quite quickly, being fourth in the sprint, beating some other sprinters, uh, being fourth in Guangxi. Like I know I have the level to be there. I just need the right races, I think.
Yeah.
And I need the experience. Like of course the classics is great. I love the classics, but we do the big classics. We don't do the small Belgium one days in between. Um, so first of all, we'll not get a captain role in one of those in the classics, but so definitely some of the smaller races I would definitely try to go for the win if possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, be a rider that you can trust in the finals, and a guy that's maybe plays into the team as a more important role for the future, and a guy you can trust at least in some finals and maybe even on some hilly courses, some Ardennes classics or something like that would be very interesting.
Man, I love that. That not the response I expected, but like a rider that you can trust. I think that's really admirable and something that the team must see in you, mate. We always end with a question, which is, I think I might have to start shaking this up actually, because a lot of people seem to give the same answer. I'll see what you
Mm.
give first, but it's, what advice would you give to a rider who's looking at trying to crack into the world tour?
Mm. Is the common answer to have fun?
Actually, no, but
Oh,
the common answer is have the right people around you. Seems to be the one that everyone sort of says. But there has been, I think it was Wout Pools that said, just remember it's fun.
yeah. That is also. I've done some speeches for young kids in local clubs and stuff, and for them it's mostly fun. But when you get up in the age, they're definitely not thinking about cracking into the world tour at the moment when you're
Yeah.
15, 12 years old. But have fun through the whole phase of and the whole period. Like have a lot of fun, and of course surround you by people who knows like. But I would say I come from a place in Denmark where we have no pro riders. We
Mm.
only have a couple Conti even. I guess there's nobody there. One of some of my best mates from back in the day, they ride club, uh, like Cat 1, Cat 2 stuff. Um, and I still made it here. Of course, I was also lucky to go to France and be there for a moment, and I think also that's also maybe why I'm not like right now. I'm not on the Uno X because I tried to move abroad. I tried to study different culture and learn and made it nice to be in a French environment. So of course, yeah, surround with you with people who you can who tell you the truth and be honest with you, and then be patient and believe the process, but also like a really practical thing is to learn to suffer smart. I think not hard, not just suffer to suffer, especially in races. Do it smart and yeah. So maybe look back on your race, study your race, what you did good, what you did wrong. If you didn't win, there's always a reason why you didn't win.
Mm.
Of course, somebody can be better, but then okay, in the sprint, did you open too early, too late, too high of a gear, too low of a gear, stuff like that? In the moment when, for example, for nationals last year, this year when 12 guys went up the road, I should have been there. I should just close the gap, but I was afraid that people would be on my wheel, but I don't think they would. So looking back, like there's always things you can learn, but I think it's important to look back at your race also and learn, and that's how you become a great rider also.
I like that. And again, I don't think anyone's given that answer, but so I'm a high school teacher and we're always encouraged to be reflective.
Yeah,
Each lesson, any bad interaction that you have, what could you have done differently?
yeah,
And that's not saying that it's your fault, and that's not saying that if you did something differently, it would have been anything different, but always be reflecting on your practice because that's how you grow. I like
100%,
that.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's also it's people who've done winter training in cold weather and stuff like that, done hours on the turbo when it's been raining. They also know that cycling it rewards on a long term commitment.
Mm.
Um, it's not in the moment. Like if it's super good in the moment, like skipping the training, that's super nice. It won't be good for the long term.
Yeah.
Um, and if it's good in the long term, it probably sucks really bad right now. Especially
Yeah.
like I was out 4.5 hours in the rain yesterday.
Yeah. Wow.
It sucks. It's not nice. And the day before that, it was snowing for 3 hours. I was also out in that. Luckily, I'm going to Spain soon, so
Yeah.
I won't be missing the weather here. But yeah, that's also a thing. I'm going to Spain all the way until Christmas. Going home for Christmas, New Year's, going back to Spain. Of course, we have camps in between, but when I'm not on camp, I'm staying in Spain. Mostly alone, but also I will go with mates, of course. But I'm away from my apartment in Denmark where I live, where I chose to live. I'm away from family and stuff like that. So in the short term, it sucks, but in the long term, it's hopefully it's beneficial. So yeah, trust the process, I guess. It's an old saying, but it's true.
Yeah. Well, look, mate, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to try and put in practice your suffer smart, not suffer hard. I ate way too much wind at my crib on Monday night. So yeah, I can take something from this. But yeah, look, really appreciate you coming on. This has been a long time coming. We've been having a chat for a while, and I
Yeah, we have.
really appreciate you giving me the time.
Thanks for
And
having
yeah,
me.
mate, absolute pleasure. Best of luck in 2026. I look forward to seeing how the new rejuvenated Decathlon team goes. And
Yeah,
yeah, I'll be watching you closely in the classics. Can't wait to see what your schedule looks like.
mate. Thanks for the invitation. It's been fun, and yeah, hopefully we can chat in the future also. But
100%.
yeah, yeah, Classic's gonna be good.
Actually,
Um,
just quickly, I need to
mm,
ask you.
mhm.
This will only work on video format, but you've got a very Australian haircut at the moment. Can you whip that beanie off and show everyone? Got the mullet in. Um, and yeah, it looks like
Shout out.
it
Yeah, I
looks a
actually
bit
got a
like a
haircut
Valtteri
today.
Bottas. You got a
Yeah,
haircut today.
yeah, I mean, I had the model for a couple of months, but I just had a
Mm,
haircut before this interview. Uh,
mate,
yeah,
it looks
to sharpen
fierce.
it up before camp. Thank you.
It
Shout
looks
out to
fierce.
Chamberlain. He pushed me.
Yeah. Well, he did a good job. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, mate.
thanks very much, and yeah, we'll talk soon. I'm back just to say, how good is that dude? I love these conversations where it's just like, you know what? If you weren't a cyclist and I wasn't doing these interviews, I reckon we'd still have a good time anyway. So hopefully you had a good time as well. Again, apologies for the audio, but honestly, the interview speaks for itself. So yeah, if you didn't mind the audio, hey, you've seen us at our worst. We're only getting better from here. I will not make that mistake again. So Victor Campenart, Matteo Jorgensen, Magdalene Valier, and some others that are in the works. Mate, we are cooking for the month of December. So make sure that you are subscribed and you will have some top tier entertainment coming your way. Thank you very much. I've been Aidan Burgess, Burgess and his bike on Instagram. This has been Domestique at Domestique Cycling. And you can also go to the website, bookmark it, make it your home for cycling content. Cheers, guys. Catch you later.